Putang saranang gacchami. For refuge I go to the Buddha, teacher of the highest wisdom. Dhammang saranang gacchami. For refuge I go to Dhamma, the ultimate universal truth. Sanghang saranang gacchami. For refuge I go to the Sangha, noble community of the Buddhist monkhood. This is the path that leads to Buddhism, and this is our answer to those who want to know how to become a Buddhist. I am a Buddhist monk, and my name is Nyanadaro, which means one with true knowledge. I come from Europe, and when I left my homeland I had no idea I would end up here. It's just that one day I suddenly realized I was missing inner peace and contentment. Although I was a normal person with a reasonably successful career, my life just seemed somehow empty, as though I needed more of a purpose in life. Southeast Asia, with its ancient culture and its exotic beauty, has always fascinated me. One is quite taken aback by the open friendliness and obvious serenity of the Thais, something which is presumably rooted in their religion. Mind you, when I first arrived in Bangkok it was quite a different story. What with the gridlock traffic congestion, the choking air pollution, and the sweltering heat, it was initially quite a stressful situation. How do they all put up with it and remain so calm, I wondered. 93% of all Thais are Buddhist, and all important Buddhist holidays are celebrated on days of the full moon. Do good, avoid evil, purify the mind. That was Buddha's message on Makapuja Day, some monks told me. They also told me about a Buddhist monastery, which was established primarily for foreigners. It's located 500 kilometers northeast of Bangkok, close to the border with Laos. Well, that's where I have to go, I thought, because I was interested in learning more about Buddhism. The people in the northeast are very traditional and are mostly devout Buddhists, but due to poor soil quality and recent deforestation, most of them are low-income subsistence farmers. Many well-known monks are from this area, and I recall the peculiar feeling that came over me as I travelled through the countryside. After a long, arduous journey, I finally arrived. The monastery is called Wat Pah Nanachat, which means International Forest Monastery. I was at once touched by the peaceful, almost mysteriously tranquil atmosphere, and sensed an aura of mystique. Right from the beginning, that's the way it was in my mind, and so I stayed. Of course, I'm not bound to stay for any length of time. I could disrobe and return to a normal life whenever I like. I am a begging monk, and although the people here are quite poor, they don't regard giving alms as a burden, but rather as a daily duty. to which they are devoted and which is said to create positive virtues. The lay people give food for the body, and in return we give food for the mind. This mutual reciprocation was deemed necessary by Buddha. A monk must receive support, given freely on a daily basis by the lay people, in order to have the right to walk the path originally decreed by the Lord Buddha. We monks have only one meal a day, to be eaten before midday. In addition, we are not allowed to have any personal possessions or assets, and we cannot carry or even touch money. It is through this rather Spartan existence that monks can avoid the trivial distractions of the modern world and concentrate on the more essential things in life. Our monastery was established in 1975 by the Venerable Thai meditation master Wat Pah Nanachat. In one of his many remarkable teachings, he describes very well the significance of the forest monk tradition.
In the forest, a monk can learn to contemplate the nature of things. He can live in contentment and peace. As he looks around, he understands that all forms of life degenerate and eventually die. Nothing that exists is permanent. And when he realizes this, he begins to become serene. Monks are trained to be content with little, to eat only what they need, to sleep only when necessary, to be satisfied with what they have. This is the foundation of Buddhist meditation. Buddhist monks do not practice meditation for selfish reasons, but in order to know and understand themselves, and thus be able to teach others how to live peacefully and wisely. Still, a monk's life is far from easy. He works to free his heart in order to feel the loving kindness that embraces all things.
We monks all live alone in small huts called gutti. Most of us are from Western countries, and we communicate only in English. The two Thai novices who join us in the monastery find that it affords them a perfect opportunity to practice their English. Forest monks understand themselves as part of nature and endeavour to live in harmony with it. The forest also provides us with various things for daily use. Today Tanaksa and Sompong are making toothbrushes for the abbot. They use a type of wood with antibacterial properties. In our laundry hut, we extract dye from the jackfruit tree in order to wash and simultaneously colour our robes. It is these tasks and even simpler chores which give us the means to train ourselves in total awareness, with special importance placed on the art of Buddhist mind training. Rather than using a single cloth, the robe is sewn together from several pieces of material, making it of little use to anyone else, a practice which was apparently initiated by Buddha himself. The loss of rainforest in this area has contributed to the now barren landscape, but our abbot Ajahn Passano, he's from Canada, actively encourages the locals to participate in communal projects. Such as building small dams to retain runoff water in order to raise the groundwater level. In this remote area, meeting places for the poor farmers are few and far between. Our branch monastery is one popular place for them to get together. Here we also teach them about the importance of environmental protection and how to avoid farming methods that may damage the ecosystem. The locals have great faith in us monks, and in the traditional Buddhist way they thank us for our assistance. In the afternoon, some of us walk to our temple cave, which belongs to this branch monastery. The climb is quite strenuous because the temperature today is 40 degrees Celsius. That's in the shade. The cave is located near the Mekong River, just across from Laos. It's an ideal place to meditate, in the same way as the great Luang Pah Chah used to. Luang Pah means venerable father.
The people must spend a lot of time to make this grass flow. This is like the Sara, is it?
Luang Pah Chah led an exemplary life as a forest monk. His teachings were particularly noted because of their simplicity and directness, which got through to people from various walks of life. Thanks to his astute guidance, more than 100 monasteries have been established, including some in Western countries. Every 14 days, pilgrims from all over Thailand gather to chant a recital of a Buddhist sutta or teaching in his honor. Long ago, Luang Pah Chah foretold that the day would come when he would continue to teach us without speaking. And remarkably, he was proved right. Due to a debilitating illness, he was confined to a wheelchair and taught us anicca for 10 years without the benefit of speech. Anicca, the impermanence, is a fundamental perception of Buddhism. Until his death in 1992, we monks nursed our venerable father with compassion and love. The wisdom which he had always put into words so very eloquently will accompany us for the rest of our lives.
Our life is like our breath, like the growing and falling leaves. When we can really understand about falling leaves, we can sweep the paths every day and have great happiness in our lives on this changing earth. This mind is already unmoving and peaceful, like a leaf which is still as long as no wind blows. If a wind comes up, the leaf flutters. The fluttering is due to the wind. The fluttering of the mind is due to those sense impressions. The mind follows them. If it doesn't follow them, it doesn't flutter. If we know fully the true nature of sense impression, we remain unconcerned by them. Our practice is simply to see the original mind. So we must train the mind to know those sense impressions and not get lost in them to make it peaceful. Just this is the aim of all this difficult practice we put ourselves through.
Tonight there's a festival in a local village monastery. The music is, as always, rather loud and can be heard over quite a distance, reverberating almost until dawn. A village monastery is different from a forest monastery inasmuch as it offers a greater variety of social functions, and many different festivals are celebrated there. The traditional Thai touring group, called Ligay, holds a slapstick dialogue with the audience, sometimes including quite outrageous humour. The monks, of course, are not present at these performances, but do keep a watchful eye from a distance, just to make sure that nothing is offensive to monastic principles. Tonight the abbot, along with some of our monks, is invited to a house blessing ceremony. Monks are also invited to participate in family celebrations, such as weddings, childbirths, or the less cheerful occasion of a funeral. Not only do the lay people come to our monastery, but we also visit their homes in return. The ceremony always begins with the abbot paying homage to the Buddha. Then together we chant, in Pali, the teachings of the Enlightened One. Pali is a language closely related to the Indian Sanskrit and was spoken in northern India at the time of the Buddha. The earliest scriptures were written in Sri Lanka in Pali 300 years after his life. This thread symbolizes the connection with the Buddha. It's a traditional Thai custom of old Indian Brahmanic origin. The monks will normally stay for about an hour, but it's only when they leave the house that the family will actually start the celebration meal. The monks, of course, don't eat at this time, so tomorrow morning there will be a special alms ritual held at this house to thank them for the blessing. As a rule, we rarely leave the monastery, and our daily lifestyle follows a set routine. At 3 a.m. we are awoken by the sound of the monastery bell. From 3:30 till 5 o'clock we have our morning ceremony and meditation practice, and at 6 o'clock we set off on our alms round. We also, on a daily basis, practice walking meditation, a Buddhist method which had almost disappeared, but has been revived. The simple, everyday movement of walking can easily be a form of mind training.
Standing, walking, sitting, lying down, we keep changing positions. We can't only stand, only sit, or only lie down. We live using all these postures. Thus we must develop awareness in each and every position by making them beneficial to us. When you are walking, all you have to do is walk. One step, next step. Seemingly simple, but in reality it is not that easy. The mind is carried away, trying to figure out what you should be doing, what is wrong with you, and why you can't do it. We bring our attention to the walking of the body, from the beginning of the path to the end. Thus there arises the intention to walk, and then the walking. Note the middle of the path and the end, stopping, turning, standing. The points for composing the mind when it starts wandering aimlessly. Some people will say, pacing up and down like that is useless. But there is a lot of wisdom to be developed in walking meditation.
Some of us are taken to the house which we visited last night in order to receive the alms donation. I got a letter from an old girlfriend of mine. She tells me her marriage is on the rocks and her husband has left her alone with their children. We've always had a good relationship. I will write to her as soon as I can. In the monastery office we can collect aerograms, but we have to inform somebody before we take anything.
I take 2 aerograms. No?
Okay.
Just like so many others, my friend says she doesn't believe in love any longer. Dear Desdemona, I'm very sorry to read of your sadness and disappointment, but please don't despair. Remember that, just as life is not permanent, love is inevitably even less so. Real love is wisdom. What most people think of as love is just an impermanent feeling. If you taste the same thing every day, no matter how delicious, you will eventually grow tired of it. In the same way, what we call love sooner or later turns into sorrow or hatred. Worldly happiness involves clinging, which is followed by suffering, just as a thief is followed by a policeman. Nevertheless, we cannot suppress or forbid such feelings. We just should not cling to or identify with them, but should know them for what they are. Then the highest reality, Dhamma, is present. We may love one another sincerely, but eventually we will be parted. To lament and think longingly, grasping for something which has changed, is suffering, not wisdom. When we become at one with this truth, and no longer need or desire, wisdom and the real love that transcends desire will fill our world. In my last letter, I told you that we had a branch monastery in Switzerland. You know, I think it would be a good place for you to get a basic introduction to meditation. To the citizens, begging monks must appear like strange aliens, and they don't seem to feel inclined to put anything in our alms bowls. It's mainly the Thais living abroad who support this monastery. I do believe a few days spent at that place would help to clear your mind and calm you down. The abbot there is very good at making the Buddhist meditation practice easy to follow and understand. During the next 2 months, I won't be able to write to you, because I'm taking part in a jungle camp retreat, being held somewhere near the famous River Kwai, close to the Burmese border. So long for now. Take care. Your friend, Nyanadaro. A family which operates a tin mine in the jungle invited us to this retreat on their land. They are devout Buddhists, and they employ Burmese refugees to work in their mine. These Burmese are also Buddhist, the same as the Thais. Some of them are trying to settle on this malaria-ridden strip of land. But there are no schools for their children, and proper medical care is more than half a day's journey away. This area was designated as a national park some years ago, but the slash and burn agricultural technique is still the main problem here. The mining family supports our abbot in the establishment of a new forest monastery. Their effort is aimed at preventing the destruction of the virgin forest. Forest fires often burn out of control, and sometimes the family find themselves cut off as a result. If an important spare part is needed quickly, then Egg, the son of the family, will sit out on his motorbike to get it. Unfortunately, slash and burn agriculture is not the only danger to the forest. Rare animals are still sold illegally to restaurants in the cities. These soft-horned turtles are under nature reserve protection, but the long arm of the law is sadly far away. Compassion for every creature is one of the most important values for Buddhists. We monks even filter our drinking water in order to remove any living organism that may be present. The biggest trader in the area is a get-rich-quick artist. One of his scams is to encourage people to burn certain parts of the forest. These regions are then declassified as nature reserve and can be used for agricultural purposes. He then purchases the land at bargain prices and later resells at much higher prices to unscrupulous plantation owners. His 2 rather well-fed sons are his pride and joy, but one wishes he could only be made to understand that this irresponsible behavior is likely to jeopardize his children's future. Some of our monks were taken in a jeep to the mine, but we decided to walk, and enjoy the scenic beauty of the countryside. Our retreat is located directly in front of a high plateau, only 2 kilometers from the Burmese border. Finally, we arrive at our destination. Accommodation for the forest monk is very basic. Only a mosquito net draped over an umbrella, after an ancient tradition. In the New Forest Temple, our abbot is already awaiting our arrival. After greetings, each monk finds himself a suitable spot in the forest, where he can settle down for the next 2 months. We will collect our food on our alms rounds, in the area around the mine, a daily 1-hour walk down the valley. Twice a month, on the day of the full moon and of the new moon, we have to shave our heads. Even the eyebrows have to be shaved, a tradition for Buddhist monks in Thailand. Now Suchino is preparing himself a walking meditation path. Respect for senior monks is an important virtue in our tradition. Today I'm helping our abbot with his afternoon bath, a ritual designed to enhance harmony within the community, and a good practice for the reduction of one's pride and conceit. Our Thai novice Sompong is making himself a nightlight, as he intends to meditate throughout the night. Tonight is full moon, and at this time we always celebrate the Patimokkha ceremony. This ritual is to atone for any infractions against our rules, and only monks are taking part in it. Sompong knows well the catastrophic effects of slash-and-burn agriculture. Only 40 years ago, 2/3 of Thailand was still covered with rainforest. Today that figure is down to less than 10%, and shrinking all the time. At this rate, there may soon come a time when there are no more forest monks. Water here is not yet in short supply, but if the forest disappears, the water supply will go with it. The Burmese all live together in a small village near the mine. These refugees are victims of a civil war against the military regime in Rangoon. Thailand is the main escape for about 500,000 Burmese refugees. The Tanaka paste, which the women put on their faces, is for cosmetic purposes, but also acts as a suntan lotion. They look forward to tonight because they can watch videos at the home of the mining family. The men skillfully manufacture their own hunting rifles, which they need in order to hunt wild animals and provide meat for their families. Apart from the 227 main rules, called the Patimokkha, there are countless minor rules which monks must adhere to. Any indiscretion or misdemeanor must, before the Patimokkha ceremony, be confided by one monk directly to another. And that is the end of the matter. There is no punishment or ongoing atonement. Luang Por Chah once described the purpose of this ritual very clearly.
In terms of ultimate truth, it is not necessary to go through the routine of confessing offences. If we see that our mind is pure and without a trace of doubt, then those offences will cease immediately. We are not yet pure, because we still doubt, still waver. We are not really pure so we can't let go. We don't see ourselves. And that is the whole point. If there is anything you don't understand, ask the teacher. Trying to practice every single training rule would indeed be burdensome. But we should examine whether or not we are prepared to admit our faults. Within itself, the mind is already peaceful. That the mind is not peaceful is because it is subject to moods. The real mind is uncomplicated. It is simply an aspect of nature and becomes peaceful or agitated because moods deceive it. The untrained mind is unaware that sense impressions can delude it into experiencing happiness and suffering, or gladness and sorrow. But the mind's true nature is none of those things. That gladness or sorrow is not the mind, but only a mood coming to deceive us. The untrained mind gets lost and follows such emotions, forgetting itself. It is in this way that we imagine we are upset, at ease, and so forth.
Here, as always, we monks are totally dependent on the lay community. The Burmese also bring food offerings up to the forest temple and take part in our ceremonies, which they seem to appreciate. In these remote regions, they seldom have the chance to do this. To have monks in the area is regarded as a lucky omen by the Buddhist population. They perceive the relationship and mutual assistance as being beneficial to their lives. The forest monk tradition was established by Buddha himself. During the rainy season each year, we undertake a 3-month period of intensive reflection practice, during which we are not supposed to leave the monastery. This is another practice exemplified by the Buddha. Buddha was born in the forest. He practiced in the forest. He taught in the forest. He was enlightened in the forest, and ultimately he died in the forest. One of the first disciples of Luang Por Chah, the Venerable Ajahn Sumedho, who is now the head of our Buddhist center in England, once described clearly what wisdom really is. Wisdom, he said, does not come from studying intellectual theories or philosophies, but from observance of the more mundane existence of common things. One of Luang Por Chah's talks comes to mind.
Ultimately, no self exists. There are only elements that have combined temporarily. We call the body a person, myself, but there is no me. There is only what is called anatta, not self. To understand anatta, you have to meditate. If you only intellectualize, your head will burst. Once you understand not self with your heart, the burden of life will be lifted and you can be truly happy.
Today we want to go up to the high plateau to meditate for 3 days in total solitude. To reach it, though, we must cross a dangerous region. Forest fires and bandits make this part of our trip quite risky. Elephants and bears live there, and even tigers have been spotted prowling around. In the event of a forest fire, forest animals can panic and be extremely dangerous. Our abbot has been invited to a special meeting today with the mining family to discuss the location of the new forest monastery. Ajahn Passano diplomatically secures a location which is strategically placed in a good position to stop slash and burn agriculture. In this way we can protect the landscape and help to prevent further devastation. The habitat around a forest monastery becomes holy land. Where forest monks are present, no trees will be cut or animals hunted. The forest here is still very lush, and from now on this small area will remain unspoiled, at least for the time being. The new monastery will be built right here. By late afternoon, we finally reach the high plateau. As Buddhist monks, we cannot preserve or keep any food, or take provisions with us. Everything we eat is given to us directly, so we must fast for these 3 days. Everyone now looks for his own place, in which to spend the next 3 days in complete seclusion. This spot seems all right for me. What on earth is happening with that serpent over there? Ants have quite a knack for sensing a food supply before it is one. Oh dear, I think it's going to die. It probably swallowed an animal which is still alive, and now it may suffer a slow, painful death itself. What does dying mean, though? What is death from a Buddhist point of view?
When one does not understand death, life is confusing. If our body really belonged to us, it would obey our commands. If we say, "Don't get old," or "I forbid you to get sick," does it obey us? No, it takes no notice. We only rent this house, we don't own it. If we think it belongs to us, we will suffer when we have to leave it. But in reality, there is no such thing as a permanent self. There is nothing solid or unchanging that we can hold on to. Life changes, and we can watch it change. We can adapt to the changing of the sensory world, whatever comes, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant. We can always endure and cope with life, no matter what happens to us. If we realize the truth, we realize inner peacefulness.
The 2 months are over, and Songkran, the Thai New Year, has arrived. For this festival, we have to return to our head monastery in the northeast of Thailand. The Songkran festivities take place over 3 days in April, which is the hottest time of year, and an old Thai custom for this time is to sprinkle some water over each other. This ancient tradition is said to bring good luck, because water is precious for every life form. Songkran is also a time when the Thais like to pay respects to their seniors, such as parents and teachers. As with other celebrations, the monks receive many donations. Far more, in fact, than they could ever need. The donors know that we will pass on the extra gifts to the poor. The lay people have taken us by bus to the provincial capital and are now returning us to the monastery. During the holiday period, many pilgrims visit our monastery, and Ajahn Passano has prepared a special talk from Luang Por Chah to deliver to them.
The Buddha was self-enlightened. He did not have a teacher. He achieved it by himself. In that respect, we all are like the Buddha. No one else can do it for us. It is something we each have to do for ourselves. So listen to these words and consider them if they seem useful to you. But it is important that you understand that they are just words. Real practice takes place only in your own heart. It is what you do to awaken your own Buddha-ness how you become a Buddha. Don't be lazy. Whenever you find yourself lazy, work to strengthen those qualities which overcome laziness. Don't be fearful or timid. If you are timid in practice, then work with your mind so that you can overcome timidness. With the proper effort and with time, understanding will unfold by itself. But in all cases, use your own natural wisdom. Only you can do that. So do it. It's all up to you.
Now it's the monk's turn to get the traditional water blessing. The cool water is from our own well, and we are massaged by the male villagers in order to make the impact of cold water less disagreeable. The Buddhist order of monks, named Sangha, is essentially a community of like-minded people with a common goal. We name that goal Nibbana, which means a totally awakened mind, free of any inner conflicts or disturbances. The Buddha himself spoke quite clearly, 2,500 years ago, about the importance of the spiritual relationship within which monks support each other. It is not easy to train one's mind to strive for this noble aim, but to attain it within one's lifetime must surely be to the benefit of one and all.
Be mindful and let things take their natural course. Then your mind will become still, like a clear forest pool. All kinds of wondrous creatures will come to drink at the pool. You will see many amazing things come and go, but you will be still. You understand the true nature of all things in the world. Problems will arise, but you will see through them immediately. This is a serene contentment of the Buddha.